Welcome to Conquest Creations, and welcome back to the Conquest Champions Battle Report League. In this game, we've got Dunland, led by the Green Dragon Jeremy, going up against Easterlings, led by the Beard, also known as Geordie. This is an absolutely thrilling game, and I'm so excited to finally be back in this series. For those of you who don't know what the Conquest Champions Battle Report League is, I took 8 tournament veterans and pitted them against each other in an elimination style tournament. All the videos are now in a playlist, so if you want to watch the whole series, that's the best place to start. It's going to be an epic battle, and whoever wins this one is going to go into the grand final, where they're going up against me.
Yeah, so we've got our second game here. I got through the first game with a convincing win against Dwarves with my Dunland. So I'm going to take on Geordie's Easterlings with some Chariots here. And I'm a little bit worried because Chariots tend to run over unarmored models pretty well, and I've got a lot of unarmored models, so I'm concerned about that. So my main aim for this game is to play the objective and to make sure that I stay away from those Chariots and that I don't let him run over entire warbands of Dunland. I've got to do something to block them. Maybe it's some birds to just confuse them, or a big hero to go and just tank it and then chop it up. So a little bit nervous, but at least there's no named heroes. So I've got 3 named heroes. I don't believe Geordie's got any, so I've got an advantage there. I can strike against anything. I can go strike against Fight 3 if I want, just as a power move. So I might try that one. So we'll see how I go. So my plan in this game is I've got 4 Dunland archers, and they're going to shoot out all the Chariots. I've got a chance of killing the Chariots, and it's my secret tactic. If I can get a shot, I'm going to take it because it's going to demoralize Geordie so much.
Alright guys, we're back after a long hiatus, but I'm pretty stoked to finish off the league, and I've got a very big game lined up against Jeremy. He's got his Dunland. Now, one of the things that Eastlings hate is like cheap value heroes, and he's got a good couple of those. But yeah, and those Creebane to counter my Chariots is a bit scary, because they've got the movement and they've got the wounds to just tank a charge or two. But hopefully, if I win the key roll-offs, we can just turn them into mincemeat and then go from there.
In the Conquest Champions Battle Report League, 3 scenarios are drawn at random. Then, each player takes turns vetoing one of the scenarios. This ensures that the scenarios are balanced for both players, and it makes for a much more interesting game. This time we've drawn Seize the Prize, Assassination, and a Contest of Champions. Jeremy rolled lower, so he has to veto first. Jeremy, which scenario will you be vetoing?
Because outrunning an army that has so much march, a drum, and a bunch of chariots is probably not my idea of a good time, I'm going to veto Seize the Prize. I don't back myself to get in the middle early.
Alright, so Geordie, you get to decide, will we be playing Contest of Champions or Assassination?
Contest is interesting because obviously Thryden's a much bigger beat stick than my captain. So I might go Assassination here.
Alright, well, for round 2 of the Conquest Champions League, it is Assassination. In Assassination, each player picks one of the enemy heroes that isn't their leader to be their target. They want to kill this model, but they also pick one of their own heroes, not their leader, to be their assassin. If they can kill their target with their assassin, they get full victory points. There's also victory points for killing the leader and breaking the enemy. Let's see who our players have decided as their assassinations and as their targets. Now keep in mind, these are secrets, so neither player knows what the other player has chosen.
It's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to do the double bluff, alright? So the Wild Man's the obvious choice. Jeremy knows that, I know that. So I'm picking Goroff as my assassination target, and I'm picking Angry Captain as my assassin. Now, Goroff can heroic defense, so it's going to be like a nearly 0% of that I get Goroff with my assassin, but it's only a 2-point difference, so it's 5 points to just kill him, or 7 to kill him with the assassin. So I'm just going to hope my pikemen win a choice combat. He's only defense 5, they're wounding him on 5s, we can easily take him.
Okay, so for my assassin and my target, I'm going to go Goroff as my assassin. He's just got all the tools for it. I can't get too clever with that one. The Wildman Oathmaker Breaker, whatever he is, I have to look it up again. I keep forgetting that. He's no good at assassination. So Goroff is my assassin, and the target, it's a tough choice because I really, really want to kill the chariot guy, but Geordie knows that. So I'm actually going to go for the Easterling Captain on foot as my target.
And that means the game is ready to begin. One last thing is this is our battle sector for today. We're looking in the outskirts of a settlement of men. We've got a river and a nice house there to base the fighting around. Alright, Jeremy won the roll-off for side picking and deployment, so he got started. Deployment started with Jeremy dropping his warband of cavalry with the Creebane just in the backfield because they can reposition. Geordie countered by placing a warband right on the borderline as close to Jeremy as he possibly could. And then next, Jeremy put down Goral's warband, but he measured this one carefully. He made sure he was 15 inches away from the center of the board, so if Geordie put his chariots right there and heroic marched, he still won't be able to hit Jeremy, and he's got those pesky archers there looking to make Geordie nervous about his chariots. Geordie responded in a pretty unsurprising way, just getting all of his Easterling pike wall together in one spot with a banner in the middle to support all of them. Jeremy dropped those fearless wildmen down with the rest of his infantry. Again, no surprise here, just sticking together. And finally, Geordie kept his chariots with the rest of his line. Now they are all within range of that Easterling drummer. And this is the state of our board after deployment. Geordie, what's your thinking going into first turn movement?
Well, I very deliberately placed these chariots within 6 of the captain here, and we're just going to do a whopping big march.
So one heroic march, going to go a long way.
Yeah.
Jeremy, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to let Geordie move first, so I can basically react to it and decide where I'm going to play. So I did not want to be right at the front because at that point Geordie could just pin my guys and then chariot charge whatever he wanted to. So he has to choose whether the chariots stay in reserve or chariots go out front.
So first turn priority went to Geordie. Geordie, what's happening here?
Given that I have one priority, do I just march forward and still cop a couple charges? It's interesting. So the extra 3 inches isn't quite enough. I'm still going to drum, but I'm not going to march because the chariots don't need the extra 5 inches this turn.
All right, so that goes straight into your movement. And Geordie did still drum, so these Easterlings are moving an extra 3 inches. He pushed his captain forwards first, and you can see he's put an Easterling warrior on each side of that captain, so there's a base-sized gap that the captain can squeeze through, but a big cavalry monster like Thryden won't be able to kill the captain this turn.
So I've just placed this little dice marker to represent where Thryden can reach up to. We're just going to actively stay out of his charge this turn. Look, if he brings him into range next turn, that's okay, because it's a roll-off to see who charges first anyway, which I'll take that.
Okay, so I've got a distraction cavalry model over here because there's no way Geordie will ever go after that one. So he's safe for the rest of the game. He's good. He survived. Well done. Now I think it might be time to reposition these guys. So I probably want a nice Creebane wall over here. So that's going to be good. I check this chariot's range. 15 is the hit range of chariot. So I just have to make sure they're sitting around this area. If a chariot comes into a Creebane, it's not the end of the world. So I will pull that one within 15. I'll put Thryden a hair back and another Creebane playing guard mode. And then I'll start setting up everyone else around it. So whenever you need the area blocked, you just throw a bunch of wild in the way. That's the key.
They're cheap and expandable.
Yep.
This is the board after our movement phase. As we can see, there has been some maneuvering. In the shooting phase, Geordie's chariot had a shot at Thryden's horse but did nothing. Jeremy, what'd you do in return?
You know what? I have got 2 Dunland archers, and people underestimate the Dunland archers. They both hit the chariot. One hit the chariot, one hit the rider. The one that hit the chariot was useless, didn't hurt it at all. But the other one, straight through, right through the chest of the rider, and that's a chariot gone.
Absolutely devastating. Priority for next turn went to Geordie, and you can see those dice he's put on the table are Thryden's charge range. He is going to be avoiding Thryden with his chariots because Thryden is terrifying. So Geordie, you seem pretty afraid of Thryden here.
Well, Mighty Blow can actually kill a chariot, which is very unusual, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, while Geordie's pushing up his line, let's quickly talk about Thryden. He's an 85-point hero on a 10-point horse. He's only got 2 attacks and fight 5, so he's not all that scary on his stat line, but he has the Mighty Blow special rule, which means every time he strikes a wound, it is actually 2 wounds. He's also got Heroic Strike, meaning that he is going to be perfect for killing Geordie's heroes. Geordie's line has all pushed forward. It's going to be interesting to see what Jeremy does. If he's going to throw everything in, or he's going to reposition for one more turn. Started Jeremy's move. What is the Lonely Horseman doing?
So he's going to run around this forest, and he's going to try and go for a run at this chariot. Because if I can have a charge on that chariot, I don't care what gets diverted into it. If he has a go at that chariot, he's absolutely worth his weight in gold. So he's going to duck around this forest and be a really sneaky horseman and try and get into a threat range of that chariot for next turn and force Geordie to move if he has to move and force him to react to that. So that horseman was going to survive, but now he's going to brave. He's tough. The wildmen are particularly cowardly, so they're going to try and sneak around the back. If Geordie wants to face me between this little gap here, wildmen going attacking pikemen and just annoying them is the way to go. So they're going to be opportunistic, and then if Geordie changes away and chases them, they'll probably just run away again.
And after Jeremy's movement, everything's ran back, just forming up a line, except for these two archers. They took down a charioteer next turn. Jeremy, I want to see what they do this turn.
Oh, they're going to take out another chariot. It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
So Geordie's shooting from his chariots was ineffectual, but now we are seeing these two Dunland archers, the heroes of Dunland. Can they take down another chariot? Let's see it, Jeremy. One hit.
That's all you need.
That's all he needs.
Hits the chariot. That's a wound.
And has wounded
Six buys?
the chariot
Defensive.
almost.
Oh, he does it!
He does it.
And I've got two more archers here.
So the chariot has been wounded. Jeremy's two archers shot at the chariot. They managed to deal a wound, but not to the rider, just to the chariot, so it has 2 wounds remaining. Priority went to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's happening here?
So this one, I'm just going to make good on it. I'm just going to go charge that chariot.
So the one horseman, can he take down a 30-point chariot? With the rest of his move, Jeremy is just sending these wildmen around the back because he doesn't have the numbers to face that pike wall unless he's surrounded it. And with the rest of his line, they're just shimmying back, so there's not going to be fighting this turn. Seems like Jeremy's just putting off an inevitable fight, but maybe he's got a plan that I'm not seeing, and we all know he is the master of positioning. And again, pulling that cavalry back. I reckon when he hits, he's going to hit hard and fast. So Jeremy's movement was shifting back and repositioning. His 2 heroic Dunland archers have actually moved, but their 2 friends have stayed still to hopefully take down another chariot. Now we'll see how Geordie responds. Now Geordie's movement wasn't surprising to anyone. His chieftain on chariot pushed forwards, getting ready to fight, and they move in a weird way for those of you who don't know. Unsurprisingly, this pike wall pushed forward. He just ignored those wildmen going around the back because he wants to get into the meat of the army, and if Jeremy wants to be tricky, he's just got to let him. That goes into the combat phase. And in the one turn of combat, the lonely horseman, what happened, Jeremy?
I backed away and then got wounded. So unfortunately, he's gone. That's my first casualty, but worth a try.
He was very...
Yeah, so at the moment now, he died, but this chariot is now a total second wave. So it stops Geordie going the double chariot charge at the same time unless he holds it off. So I'm pretty happy with that. Also, the drummer's not particularly in a good spot either. So if Geordie decides to reverse, it's probably not going to happen. So I think I'm happy with that. I've locked those 2 in place and they're going to be second wave.
So he died for a reason.
Died for a reason, absolutely.
And priority next turn went to Dunland.
So I think it might be time to just go in and do some combats. So
All right.
Let's get Thryden in, because why not? So we'll go in here and just take on these 2. These bowmen have done a fantastic job, but it's their time. They're going to go in as well and just hold up that line there. I don't really want to commit to Cremain here. It's probably there's better places for it. So that one can't march, so it can't reach there. So let's get the classic Cremain in the side. Attack of the chariot. And we'll bring this guy here to intercept that hero.
And the lines have well and truly clashed in here this time. Now this goes into Geordie's move after Jeremy's. And in Geordie's move, he just has to redress his line, originally get this phalanx ready to fight. You can see in the bottom corner there that his chieftain on a chariot has been tied up by some Dunland warriors. That's okay, hopefully he'll charge next turn. And these are the battle lines after Geordie's movement. So guys, that means it's the combat phase. Any heroics?
None for me.
Unfortunately, the Cremain are too tanky for my chariot to one-shot, so nah.
Alright, well let's go straight into the fighting. And the combat phase has started. It begun with a Dunlanding just being pushed back, followed by the Easterlings slaying a Dunlanding archer. Next down the line is Thryden. Alright, let's see it.
You roll it out.
Thryden's on a 4.
I've got 4 in a banner.
Looks like 4 and a banner. So very beatable in here. And the Easterlings have hit that 6, but Thryden has a banner reroll. To a 3.
That's right. 2 points of might.
So, Thryden, an expensive turn, 2 points of might. So, Thryden won the fight with 2 points of might, and he did kill both of his opponents, but still very costly. And in the next fight, another Dunlanding warrior was slain. The Easterlings are hot at the moment. And the chieftain on chariot took down an archer and pushed back that Creebane. The last fight here is a captain fighting an archer. Let's see it.
Yep. Captain, non-captain.
And the Easterlings have got it. And can they take him down?
Captain winning on force.
Yes, they can. So not a single fight went Dunlanding's way. It's going to be interesting to see how Jeremy turns his back. Priority this turn went to Geordie. So Jeremy called a heroic move with Gorolf. And Geordie, what did you do?
Yep, countered with Angry right there because he covers the phalanx and the chariot.
Alright, so here's the roll-off. 1, 2, 3 goes to the Easterlings. That is a cocked dice. And that is a 5. So it goes to Dunland. So Jeremy's move. Where's Gorolf going first?
So he gets everything up to the banner. So he's going to go right into this guy here.
So into the chariot chieftain.
Yep. Let's go this one into there.
So Jeremy stacks on this
Controls on there.
Cardish chieftain.
It's going to get my banner. I just have to live with that, I think. So what I'm going to do is redress the ranks here. Let the Easterlings.
And Jeremy had to stay within 6 of Gorolf, which meant his line was a bit twisted. But now it goes into Geordie's move.
The question just is whether the banner wants to come this way. I think he probably comes here. That way he can support these combats here and like still get a couple. So I guess we'll do that now. Get this banner to there.
This is a really interesting point in the game. Geordie's just pushing his lines in, but keep in mind Jeremy's lost 2 points of might off his leader, but Geordie's chieftain chariot is really surrounded and is in a lot of danger this turn. So Jeremy could be pulling this back, but he's already lost a lot of numbers. So after Geordie's move, everything's pushed in and his chariots come up a bit. But now Jeremy gets to move again with all his models that weren't in the heroic move, which is all these wildmen out this side and a bit of his line in there. Now I can't imagine Geordie's happy about where this chariot's ended up. It's behind his line, which kind of defeats the point of a chariot. He wants it to be smashing into the enemy line, but there's a wall of Easterlings in front of it, and now Jeremy's positioning around
So
it.
I've got very few models over here, lots of wildmen, and this chariot could potentially take them all out. So I've spread them out with some terrain to stop Geordie going over all of them in one go. And if Geordie does continue on these valueless wildmen, I should be able to create an ambush and jump a whole bunch on. But if he doesn't, I'm going to charge with the wildmen anyway. So it's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. And I'm very happy with that move. Hopefully he doesn't shoot that guy out.
And that's going to take us into combat. And heroics, do we have anything to declare?
Absolutely. I will go for heroic combat with the Wildman Oathmaker.
Wildman Oathmaker.
Yeah, this is a big one. I'm going to call a combat with Angry at the back to try and detrap the chariot as well and maybe get an extra kill here or there. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm going to strike up with Gorov to just make sure I get higher fight. Bring it down to 1 mark.
Yep. And I am going to call with the leader here because it all works perfect. I can actually take Gorov out of this combat, leaving my chieftains safe as houses with the highest fight value.
All right. So let's roll off to see whose heroic goes first. And that goes to Dunland.
Yes.
And here's the combat, the chariot hopelessly surrounded. Let's see the rolls.
Oh, I had a 6 coming up and you knocked it.
I got 6 anyway.
and-
My heroic fight.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah, easy.
Jeremy has won it. So, Jeremy's got a bucket load of dice to roll for wounds here.
So I need to double them up and I need to allocate where they go.
Well, there's a few that go through.
A lot of heroes on the rider as well. So that's 4 on the rider and 5 on the ground. I might see how many wounds I do there.
Yep.
So I've got the chariot. That's 1 and that's a bird, so that's nothing. So, 1 plus the wound on the birds don't work because they're not.
Oh, really?
They're not diamonds. I'm pretty sure. We'll check that later, but that's
Yep.
1 wound there. On the rider, what's the defense of the rider, Jordy?
D6.
6? Okay, so it's probably going to be 4s.
4s and 3s,
That
actually.
looks like
So
2
there's another
wounds.
2, and then I'll do the second lot.
Yep. Sitting on 1 fate.
So I'll put those over there. Second lot was... Oh, I'll just roll them again.
Yeah, we know there's 2 wounds.
D in the ways. Once again, I've got all of them on the...
Oh, it's all heroes, though.
Again.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
heroes. Okay, so... on the chariot, which got 1 wound taken. That would be another one.
Oh, yeah, +1.
Chariot has taken 2 wounds, but this could kill the chieftain.
Well,
Let's see it.
these are
Needing
the
forced
important
wound.
rolls.
A 5 goes to 6,
Easy,
5 goes to
easy.
6.
That's
That's the
2
chieftain one.
wounds. Devastating loss there.
So the Crowbane will go into the chieftain who's about to do a heroic combat.
Yeah.
Then this one's going to do a heroic combat as well. So
Yeah.
he'll go in and get a charge bonus.
Because taking Goroth out of that, I think the chieftain survives.
So, Geordie's captain fighting against that Creebane in a heroic combat.
Take a reroll and, yep.
Captain has won the fight. Now, he needs 4 wounds here for his heroic to be successful, so that's 4-4-ups.
So captain's winning on 3s.
2 wounds and 2 4-ups to kill it.
Oh, 4-ups, is it? Oh!
No! 3 wounds on the Creebane. It has 1 left. They are such good tanks. So the next heroic combat is actually Geordie's. Now, Geordie has priority. So if it wasn't a heroic, he could have done this fight first and untrapped that captain. Because he has to do his heroic, his captain's going to be trapped in here. So let's see the dice roll. Jeremy's got good odds here.
Well, doing a heroic shielding.
Might on the gold and the red. 6.
And
And another high value.
that will go to Jeremy.
Yep.
So Jeremy, can you take down your second hero in this turn?
So I definitely want my heroes to do some damage here. So let's go and see what they do.
Yes, you do want your heroes to do some damage here because of the assassination scenario. If that is his target, that could matter.
Your assassin got 1.
So he's got
Whoa.
2 wounds. 3 wounds for the guy, so I would have gone that
Well,
first.
oh, he's got 3 on his own. Oh,
he's
and
got
done the
3.
war cry, so there's
Yep.
more. Yep, easy.
So, that is the captain
So
slain.
Goroth has slain Angry.
Goroth has slain Angry.
During this turn, I hit the jackpot and killed both the potential targets for it. Goroth was my assassin. Goroth wanted to assassinate Angry, and got there on the second one. So I managed to get that, so I've got some points in the bag here.
So, that means you've got a big lead. Geordie, you're going to need to fight back hard to get this.
So I've got to kill their heroes, potentially break them and stay unbroken, and I think I've also got to kill Thryden to get to claw this back.
Yeah.
You need some big claws.
Look, it's 6s all day.
And Geordie's taking down a rider, and earlier he put 3 wounds on this Creebane. So Geordie really needs to be getting kills here. He started out by taking down a Wildman, and then in the next combat took down a Dunland warrior. In the next fight after that, Jeremy just pushed back some Easterlings, and this is actually a big loss for Geordie. He's outgunning these individual Dunlands, so he really wants to be getting kills, but he got pushed back again, which is really got to be frustrating for him, especially when it cost him a troop like it did there. In the next fights, the Easterlings lost another one, losing another troop. Unsurprising because that Dunland Warcry, which takes down another Easterling. And after combat, we can see the lines have pushed back. Some Easterlings have died, some Dunlings have died, but mainly a lot of Easterling heroes. That goes to priority.
Yeah. Oh, mine.
Goes to Dunland. So Geordie called the heroic with his captain. Jeremy, did you counter?
Yep.
And what did you call?
A heroic move.
All right, and that's with the Wildman Oathmaker. So let's see the roll off. 1, 2, 3 goes to Geordie. Goes to Geordie. All right.
We love to help each other out here, don't we?
This is one of the least important moves. It was still worth doing because it keeps his heroes in the wrong spot.
Worth putting his last point of might against.
Yeah.
So Geordie's using this move just to keep Jeremy out of position. Jeremy really overextended there to get those big hero kills, which was absolutely worth it. But now Geordie's trying to exploit what weaknesses are there.
So a lot of VPs have been given up already. I've got to try and make them up in a different way. So I'm going to try and get leader kill and look in an ideal world break. And I think that helps claw it back. But look, it's a long way to go.
This is Geordie's heroic move finished off here. As you can see, he's just been tying up everything in here. Hopefully he can take down both those Creebane that are on 1 wound each, and he can open up space in there to get at Jeremy's heroes. But this goes into Jeremy's regular move. And after the rest of the movement, we can see that this chariot is tied up, and the lines have just pushed forwards into each other. It's just going to be a big grind through combat now. And combat started with the chariot taking down a Wildman. Following that, we had an Easterling warrior fighting against a Wildman and took him down. Now we need to keep in mind that even though Geordie's behind on the current leaderboard, he's got a lot more troops, and his troops are a lot more suited to grinding through each other. So he's just pushed back another warrior and taken it down there. So that's 3 kills out of 3 fights. Geordie got pushed back in the next fight, but not killed, so that's a good result for him. And then pushed back again in the next fight, again, not killed. Pushed back again the fight after that, so he's losing a few here, which is starting to get frustrating, especially against those defense 3 Wildmen. Then Thryden came in, swinging his massive sword, fighting against 3. Now Geordie can back up 3 models here, or 2 models and the 1, because of the Phalanx special rule, and Thryden failed to kill. Then Geordie took down another cavalryman. That's great progress for Geordie here. His army is playing a war of attrition, taking down another Creebane and pushing back another one. This might swing it. So Jeremy had to spend a point of might to win this fight, but he did take down the Cataphracti drummer.
First takedown this turn, though.
So after combat, the Easterlings did pretty well. How many models did they end up taking out there, Jeremy?
That was 7 in 1 round.
7 in 1 round. Wow,
Damn.
that could be the swing that Geordie needs. The momentum started there. So going into next turn priority, Geordie just has to kill another 3 or 4 models to break Jeremy. All right, let's see the priority roll.
It's a big roll off because the might's up in the corner.
And it goes to Geordie.
It's me.
Okay, heroic move with... Thryden.
So Thryden, is that his final point of might?
Got one, sorry.
Yeah.
So Thryden is out of might, and the movement goes to Jeremy. So Jeremy's using his resources here to get Thryden into the remaining Easterling captain that is Geordie's leader, so he's worth some victory points. But I think Jeremy really should be more afraid of the Easterling troops here because they're just grinding through Dunland warriors like nobody's business, and Jeremy can't afford to break here. His courage isn't fantastic with most of his troops, so he could run if he breaks. After Jeremy's heroic move, Thryden's come down the side and the walls are forming up. But importantly, it's now Geordie's move, and he can actually tag these heroes to keep them there if he wants to. So let's see where Geordie goes.
So let's just steamroll this poor gentleman.
So this could be the first chariot kill for the game. Let's see it. 2 strength 4 hits. Will it work? And that is 2.
Very much so.
Definitely dead.
And then he'll just keep wheeling, or rather he will wheel. And I can't wheel. So I'll wheel less and then just move there.
Alright.
And then wheel.
So that
Stare him down.
That Dunland warrior, or the Dunland wildman, is very scared in there. Now, because Jeremy did that heroic move, he had to pull that whole side of Dunland back. So Geordie really has a lot of control on where his Easterlings will fight here, and he's going to get to maximize his pike usage. He's also able to avoid the fight 4 that the Dunland Huskarls have, so he should have great odds of winning a lot of fights in there. I'm expecting Jeremy to break this turn, and that could be bad news for him. The good thing is the Wildman Oathmaker is fearless, so his stand fast is going to be essential. So if Geordie can take him down, I think that could be game. And in the rest of Jeremy's move, this Wildman charged out from between the barrels into the chariot, and we can see the lines have just clashed, so it's time to go into combat. Now this is a seriously important combat phase. Every phase of the game is important at this point. Jeremy got lucky and he won against the chariot, just pushed it back, not wounding it. That's still a good result for him. Then in the first line, we had 2 Wildmen push back 3 Easterlings that could have easily turned into 2 more dead Dunland. And then Dunland won again, pushing back 3 Easterlings, and won again, pushing back 2 Easterlings. Nothing's dying for Geordie, but it's frustrating. He did manage to take down a Creebane after that. And then one of his warriors got pushed back, but not killed by the Wildman Oathmaker. In there, looks like Gorolf managed to take down a warrior, and we've got that banner just by himself against a Huskarl, and Geordie managed to kill another Huskarl. So we've got the captain fighting against Thryden. Captain's on a 6, but he has shielded. He's won the fight, so Thryden just pushes back. And last fight is Geordie's banner.
Will also shield, -1.
Take the reroll.
Big 1 at the moment.
I'm on a 3.
So I've got to get a 5, I think?
No.
A 4 ties it.
Yes, we'll go for 5. Yep,
Flight
so you
3.
can roll it off.
Oh, it was mine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Goodery.
Mine.
And the banner
I could probably back into the unit anyway.
backs
couldn't I?
up. And at the end of that turn, Jeremy has lost 17 models in total, meaning he has been broken. Geordie has still 4 more models before he breaks, so the end of this game is actually starting to tighten up a bit. Let's go into priority.
Big 1. Oh,
And that goes to Dunland.
gets his stand fasts.
So Jeremy went first with the Wildman Oathmaker. Now the Oathmaker is a fantastic hero. He's not that expensive and not that good in combat, but he has Fearless, which makes him perfect for situations like this, just giving Jeremy certainty. But Gorolf, who we know is Geordie's target, only has a courage of 4, which isn't great. So if this game goes for a few turns and he flees, that gets Geordie 5 points. Stack that on top of breaking Jeremy, and that would even up the game. If Geordie can get a wound on Jeremy's leader, that could put him in the lead. So Thryden's standfast courage test. Courage 4. He's got a 7, so he is totally fine.
Fine. He'll go into that guy. No. This guy will go into this one here. Goroth will go into this one here.
Goroth will need a courage test, though.
Of course, so he'll do it now.
He's the big one.
So,
And
he is totally
I
fine.
only saw the one.
No, I got the Eye of Sauron
Yeah,
there, so that's nice. So now I've got all these ones to move. They can all see Thryden. They can all be in fearless range. So let's start doing some pinning.
And Jeremy used his movement to type as much of Geordie's stuff in its place as possible. Now, because Geordie hasn't broken yet, he doesn't need to take courage tests, so all his guys just have free reign to move, and they could get a lot of traps if Jeremy hadn't ran out to tie everything up like this. And it's looking grim down this side, but there's a lot of Easterlings still alive. Thryden managed to take down Geordie's last hero, the Easterling captain. And at the end of the combat phase, as you can see, everything's been pushed back and around. Jeremy's taken more casualties, but all his heroes are still in the game, and they really are what matters here. But the game ends on the roll of a 1 or 2. Jeremy, let's see it.
Let's do it.
And it is a 3, so we're going to one more turn.
There's still a chance.
There's still a chance.
3.
A 3 and a 4. So priority went to Geordie. It's going to be really interesting to see how he moves here, because if he charges those heroes, they won't need to take their stand fast checks.
So yeah, let's just charge them. If everything fails, he'll run away. Is it worth removing his cab bonus charge? Nah, it's worth. See if he fluffs it. We can just charge duties. He can charge duties.
So in Geordie's move, he's left those heroes there. Goes into Jeremy's.
Okay, so I'll go for Thryden.
And a 10 he has passed. That was
he'll
Geordie's
go
big
charge
chance there.
These two.
But now it's Goroth.
Goroth. That's a 4. Do I have it?
4!
He runs.
Goroth is courage 4. Yep, so he runs.
Wow. So, Geordie, what does that mean?
That's not bad. That was my assassination target. So I get the 5 points. So we're still in it, technically.
Yeah.
All right.
That one automatically passes because he's a banner.
He's a regular Dunland man.
Well, he's in stand
Oh,
fast.
stand fast, sorry.
Yeah, and stand pass 12.
You were correct, it was just the reasoning.
Oh, yeah, no, the reasoning is not pretty.
And into the combats, Geordie took down a Wildman, lost a fight, but didn't lose anyone to a Huskar. And then looks like he has lost another fight in there, but wasn't slain.
Yep.
So now we have Thryden's combat.
All 5s.
And Thryden has won it. That's good for Jeremy.
Down, and
As
let's
if-
try and get some kills and maybe get the
Kills.
break. First one, kill.
Dead, yep.
And the second one, also dead.
There's the break.
2 dead Eastlings and a break. If Geordie had won that and managed to wound Thryden, it would have been equal on the scoreboard. But now, big swing in Jeremy's favour. End of the combat phase. Geordie will count as broken here now that Thryden took out those 2 troops. Does the game end on the roll of a 1 or 2?
keeps
It
going.
does not.
Yours, all right.
So, priority
Show me some
goes to
values, baby.
Dunland.
Okay.
Thryden, run. It's not worth it.
It's worth it. It's always worth it. Let's go for our fearless Wildman at that one there.
Yep.
Let's activate some standfast and some fearlessness.
Yep.
Let's go for Thryden next.
All right,
Here
big
we
coach
go.
test from Thryden.
Easy.
Oh.
And he's passed.
Never did
He's got it.
And he is Thryden, so he absolutely must go charge things.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not going to stand there and be silly about it. He's not here to embarrass himself.
We lost 2 Eastlings to courage tests, and unfortunately the Khandish chieftain will live to fight another day. Chariot, sorry.
I should have
And
not
this-
charged these guys. I was just running away.
This is all that remains of the battlefield. And after the combat phase, as you can see, a handful of Dunlandings died and a handful of Easterlings died. So now let's see, is the game over on the roll of a 1 or 2?
It
It continues. Jeremy, can you table these Easterlings?
Absolutely. Let's watch this.
All right,
Time to
let's
take some risks.
see some priority rolls.
Oh yeah, true. All right.
All right,
It's still
so
with Thryden running. That's all I've got left.
It is not Thryden running, isn't it? There's not a lot of Easterlings left, is there? So he'll
3
go into that
ran.
one.
You killed 2.
Activate my fearless bubble and all that sort of stuff. Let's go. Let's see what Thryden does.
Thryden's courage test. Oh no!
Ooh, I think you can not manipulate it.
Let's have a look. Where is Thryden? He's not a warrior.
So Thryden is courage
4, 2
courage
will.
4, 2 will. So has he fled the battlefield? Wow, that is 2 points in Geordie's favour. All right. And now there's some more courage tests. No, there's not, because the stand fast. All right. So after the movement phase, one Easterling ran away, and the rest of the guys are just in there fighting. Now, Geordie's only chance of winning is if he can table Jeremy. If this game keeps going, the odds of that happening are definitely higher than 0. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Here we are at the end of the fight phase. This is a scrap. Does the game end on the roll of a 1 or 2? Jeremy wants it to end.
No.
And it keeps going. Now, what's going on here is the Wildman Chieftain, the Oathmaker, is keeping them alive. He's fearless, but he is wounded. Still has a fate point. So if Geordie can kill him, he could flip this game. So Geordie, 1 priority, but Jeremy used the last point of might on the battlefield to call a heroic move. Now, good thing that Oathkeeper is fearless, and he's giving that standfast bubble to all those troops.
So it stays just in the standfast bubble.
All right, so Geordie has got 5 courage tests to make.
The gentleman on the ground.
And Geordie's courage tests went okay, but he lost 2 troops that could have gone into combat against that Oathkeeper. So there's just 1 fight for this turn. Can they take down that 1 Easterling in there? Let's see it.
Yep, let's do
He'll
it.
throw his shield.
Fight normally.
Oh, yucky.
Fires will do it.
And goes to Dunland. Can they take him down?
Needing 5 on a 6. No, they can't.
And no. But importantly, does the game end on the roll of a 1 or 2, Geordie? It continues!
No!
So, there's still stuff to fight for in here. We need those Easterlings to kill the Oathkeeper or get tabled. So, let's see the priority roll.
Oh no.
Goes to the Dunlandings. And movement phase was quick, not gonna lie. It's gonna go straight into combat. Geordie didn't need to take any courage tests this turn because he's all tied up. So, let's see how these fights go. And 1 Easterling went down, and that was it. Does the game end on the roll of a 1 or 2? No! Oh my god, the game continues. So, priority. Does it go to the Easterlings? No, it goes to Dunland. Once again, the Oathmaker's fearlessness is absolutely essential here. Jeremy, where are you going to go?
Away!
No.
They might not have failed their courage tests, but they are running
I was going to say
away.
you have to be slightly different. Yep.
Yep, so I'm in within 6.
And that means that one of these wild men will have to take a courage test?
He'll just go... No, he'll just come back with me, and that one will.
All right. And he is gone. So, Geordie, 3 courage tests.
Yes. I'll do the non-dragons first. 1's good. I assume I'm out of charge range.
No, you can get those guys
Yep,
in.
he'll go in. Second non-dragon. He's good.
So you can
And the dragon
Pack supporting.
brings the
So it's
five
3 pass courage tests for a combat here. All right. So, let's see the rolls.
Let's do it.
5.
Oh, yeah,
You got the 6.
6.
All right.
Goes
Okay.
Dunland. Can they get a kill,
It's
though?
the time. It's the time. Yes!
Yes.
Yes. So the Huskar takes him down.
Finally, Huskar.
Now, does the game end on the roll of a 1 or 2?
It's me.
Okay.
And you know how good I am at rolling 1s and 2s.
Hey! So
I'm going to
that
interject and
Oh.
ask that to be re-rolled with
So-
my Easterling army bonus.
Easterling Army bonus. Oh, and it's still over!
Good game, Jeremy. Well done.
And that means, Jeremy, you advance.
I do. Oh my goodness, that was a tough one. Okay, well, what a game. That went from something that I was pretty confident about that fourth turn, to something that was really, really nerve-wracking. The Wildman Oathmaker, I'm going to remember his name forever now. He was amazing. Fearless is such a good rule. So just sitting there knowing that I'm going to pass the courage test when Thryden ran, when Goroth ran, when all the Easterlings were running, it was just so good. The thing that got me nervous was right towards the end of the game, if I lost all my models, if Geordie managed to kill all my models, I was gone. Game over. He wins by default. And it almost happened. It was close. 1 wound on the Oathmaker. Oh, so close. Well done, Geordie, for not giving up. A lot of people would have just thrown in the towel, and well done for not throwing in the towel.
Well, look, that game was worth the wait, let's be honest. Jeremy played really well against the chariots, and I didn't get good utility out of them. And he even managed to lull my chieftain into a prime spot to sort of slingshot that combat. He did get the move off and the combat off, but that it's a dice game. You've got to expect that sort of stuff. So well done on Jeremy's part. But even after that, he's got the 7 points, he's got the kills, he's got all the heroes. I don't think it's worth giving up. It was still possible for me to win. Had the courage test been like a turn earlier or something like that, it could have swung in the Easterlings' favour. So really good game and really tightly fought.
And this has been Conquest Creations. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned because in a fortnight's time you're going to see me go up against Jeremy in the grand final of Season 1 of the Conquest Champions League.